A dog stands behind a low gate, tail moving quickly. You reach over because that wag looks friendly, and suddenly the dog's mouth closes, its muscles tighten, and your hand feels much too close. The tail seemed to say hello. The rest of the dog said something very different. Misreading moments like this can reinforce an annoying habit, increase a dog's distress, or make you miss the warning that comes before a bite. By the end, you'll know how to read 10 familiar dog behaviors and decide when to reward, redirect, step away, or get professional help. And the first signal fools almost everyone. You don't need to memorize a giant body language chart or pretend you know exactly what a dog feels. You need to notice the clues that change what you should do next. Number 1 is the wagging tail. Two dogs can wag at roughly the same speed while giving you completely different answers about contact. So don't approach from the wag alone. Look at the whole dog. Is the body loose? Does the face look soft? Is the dog breathing normally and choosing to move closer? A wag tells you the dog is emotionally activated. That might mean friendly excitement, but it can also mean uncertainty, frustration, or conflict. A comfortable dog may curve its body, blink softly, and step towards you with easy movement. Turn slightly sideways and pause your hand. If the dog closes the remaining distance, that voluntary approach gives you useful information. A worried dog may wag low while backing away. A conflicted dog behind a gate may stand tall, stare, close its mouth, and move its tail in tight, rigid strokes. Stop reaching and the difference becomes obvious. The relaxed dog approaches. The stiff dog stays back and gets the space it was asking for. The wag gets your attention. The rest of the body tells you what to do. Number 2 looks less subtle because the dog launches directly at you. But your completely normal reaction may be keeping the behavior alive. Your dog jumps. You push them down and deliver a sharp little speech. The dog jumps again, somehow with even more enthusiasm. That usually isn't a challenge for status. It's often an excited greeting that has repeatedly brought faces, hands, voices, and attention closer. Even pushing can feel like interaction. Instead, use a leash, gate, or a little more distance to prevent the launch. Before the guest moves closer, reward the dog near the floor while all 4 paws are down. If the dog jumps, the greeting pauses. No wrestling match, no lecture. Reset far enough away that the dog can succeed, then try again. The pattern becomes simple. Grounded paws make people approach. Jumping closes the social door. But excitement doesn't always move upward. Sometimes it produces a behavior people misread as a battle over rank. Number 3 is mounting. After loud, chaotic play, a dog starts panting, moving frantically and struggling to disengage. Then the mounting begins. Don't diagnose dominance from that movement alone. Mounting can appear during excitement, stress, play, sexual behavior, or because the reaction it produces has become rewarding. The better moment to act is before it starts. When play becomes frantic, call the dog away, guide them into a short break, and reward a calmer activity such as sniffing for scattered food or settling on a mat. If mounting has already started, interrupt without shouting or pushing. Create a brief pause, then reinforce the calm behavior that follows, not the mounting itself. Resume play only after the dog's breathing and movement settle. The fun continues without turning the living room into a tiny wrestling arena. If mounting suddenly becomes persistent and appears with genital licking, urinary changes, or discomfort, arrange a veterinary check. That combination may involve a physical problem, not just training. The next behavior is louder, but the sound alone still doesn't reveal the cause. Number 4 is barking. One dog barks with a loose, wiggly body when a friend arrives. Another charges the window stiff-legged when a stranger passes. A third barks directly at you because dinner is apparently 30 seconds late. Before reacting, notice when the barking happens, where it happens, and what follows it. Barking can express excitement, fear, frustration, alarm, or a request that has worked before. The solution changes with the reason. Doorbell barking may call for practice moving behind a gate. Leash barking may require more distance. Demand barking changes when noise stops producing attention and calm behavior does. For a dog who charges the window, close the curtain before the usual delivery time. When footsteps pass, reward the dog for turning toward you instead of racing to the glass. Now the dog gets one alert without rehearsing a 5-minute window battle. That's management, changing the environment before the unwanted behavior gets underway. It prevents more practice while you teach a replacement. The first 4 behaviors happen in front of you. The next 2 are harder because people look at the evidence afterward and invent a motive. Number 5 is destructive chewing. You return home to a shredded shoe beside an untouched chew toy. It looks personal, although the shoe does contain your scent and apparently has excellent mouthfeel. Don't punish the dog after you find it. Secure unsafe or valuable objects, provide suitable chew options before the problem period, and use a camera to see when the damage begins. Chewing is normal, especially for puppies. It may satisfy exploration, relieve boredom, or simply feel better than the expensive object you thoughtfully selected. Timing separates ordinary chewing from something more serious. A recording that shows relaxed chewing followed by sleep points toward a behavior you can prevent and redirect. But a dog who ignores food, paces, pants, vocalizes, scratches at the exit, or tries to escape soon after you leave may be experiencing absence-related distress. That isn't disobedience. Harsher confinement or punishment can increase the fear and the risk, so involve a veterinarian or a qualified reward-based behavior professional. The wreckage can't tell you why it happened. The recording can. Number 6 comes with something even more convincing. A face that looks remarkably like a confession. You point toward a puddle. Your dog lowers their head, pulls their ears back, crouches, and carefully avoids your eyes. Case closed? Not quite. That worried posture often responds to your voice, movement, or a history of being scolded. It doesn't prove the dog connects your anger with an accident that happened much earlier. Punishment after discovery arrives too late to explain the correct choice. It may only teach the dog that being near you, or near a mess, feels dangerous. Clean the accident quietly. Increase supervision and timely outdoor trips. After waking, meals, and other predictable moments, take the dog outside and reward them immediately after they finish in the correct place. Now your response occurs while the location and action still make sense. For a previously reliable adult, a sudden lapse changes the decision. Arrange a veterinary examination because pain, digestive trouble, urinary problems, or other illness can alter bathroom habits. That so-called guilty face isn't a reliable confession. It's information about how the dog feels right now. And sometimes the earliest signs of discomfort are even easier to dismiss. Number 7 is the cluster of yawning, lip-licking, and turning away. Your dog yawns while fully awake, licks their lips with no food nearby, and turns their head every time you lean closer. One signal by itself proves very little. A yawn may mean tiredness. Lip-licking may follow a drink. A head turn may track a sound. But when several signals appear together precisely as handling, restraint, close approach, or training becomes more intense, pause. Reduce the pressure or add distance. Then, watch the recovery. You stop leaning over the dog and take one step back. The dog exhales, uncurls, softens through the face, and eventually looks toward you by choice. That change supports your interpretation. If the dog stays tense or moves farther away, don't chase a second test. Let distance do its job. Catching the quiet request matters because a head turn can become a retreat, a growl, or something faster when the earlier signals don't work. The final 3 behaviors all involve contact and safety. Each one asks the same question in a different way. Will you notice before the dog has to become clearer? Number 8 is the exposed belly. One upside-down dog has loose limbs and nudges your hand. Another holds tight paws against the chest, tucks the tail, turns away, and barely moves. The position looks similar. The experience may not be. Pause your hand for a few seconds. Continue only if the dog remains loose and actively moves back toward contact. Stop if the dog stays still, turns away, tightens, or leaves. With the loose dog, removing your hand produces a wriggle and a clear request for more. With the tucked dog, nothing follows, so the contact ends and the dog gets room. That pause is a simple consent check. You're not asking for a performance. You're seeing whether the dog voluntarily restarts the interaction. The belly doesn't decide. The dog's response when touch stops does. Number 9 is a signal you never want to punish out of a dog. The growl. When a dog growls, stop the approach, handling, or interaction. Create space without scolding and prevent the same setup while you work out the cause. A growl is a request for distance. Fear, pain, surprise, or conflict may be underneath it. Punishment might suppress the sound while leaving the discomfort untouched. That can give you less warning, not less risk. Imagine a resting dog growling when a visitor reaches under the table. Call the visitor back, clear the area, and use a barrier so nobody approaches the dog there again. The immediate pressure ends. The warning remains available. Now the trigger can be assessed safely instead of tested repeatedly. Recurring growling, new sensitivity to touch, or uncertain bite risk calls for a veterinarian and a qualified reward-based behavior professional. That's no longer an ordinary manners lesson. But the final warning may arrive without any sound at all. Number 10 is freezing. You reach toward a dog and the mouth closes. The muscles tighten, the eyes fix, and even the moving tail stops. Don't test the stillness with another touch. Stop moving closer, keep hands and faces away, turn slightly sideways, and leave a clear path for the dog to move away. If children or other animals are nearby, move them away rather than asking the dog to tolerate more. Freezing can be a high concern sign of fear or conflict. Stillness doesn't automatically mean consent, relaxation, or obedience. Sometimes it means the dog has stopped trying to escape through movement. A child approaches a cornered dog while you're reaching down. You block the child's path, withdraw your hand, and clear the space beside the dog. The dog turns away and leaves. Distance replaces confrontation before a snap or bite occurs. Repeated freezing, lunging, snapping, or any situation where safety feels uncertain needs careful management and qualified professional help. Sudden behavioral change or new handling sensitivity also warrants a veterinary check. Now return to the gait from the beginning. The tail is moving, but the mouth closes and the body stiffens. Instead of choosing the friendliest looking signal, you read the entire moment. Use the scene body response check. First, notice the scene. What happened immediately before the behavior? Next, read the whole body instead of one tail, face, sound, or posture. Finally, check the response. What does your reaction allow the dog to gain, continue, or escape? That tells you whether to reward a preferred behavior, prevent and redirect a habit, create distance, or seek veterinary and qualified behavior help. At the gate, you stop reaching. The dog gets space, and the warning never has to become louder. During your next interaction, pause once. Notice what happened before, what the whole body is doing, and what changes when you respond. A familiar behavior isn't a fixed sentence. Its useful meaning is the decision it helps you make in that moment.